that many a times when you're living life, when you go through experiences, when you go through ups and downs, you come to a question. You always get this question that why am I doing all this? What is the purpose of life?
There's no right or wrong, and I cannot let anybody decide my right or wrong. My life experiences will decide my right or wrong.
I want to know what is something that really makes you happy.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it is supposed to be because someone who invented the word must have felt something. Someone who says enlightenment must have felt something. But if there is an ultimate joy in my life, it is only and only.
Hello and welcome to Curious Bate. This is Priyank Jain. I welcome all of you once again. Firstly, I want to wish all of you a very, very happy new year. This is going to be the first podcast of 2022. I'm very excited of the journey that we have ahead of us. In the last year, we've got some really amazing feedback from all of you, the listeners. I've got a lot of inputs of how they want this podcast to go and what content they are looking forward to have. And I'm very excited to create those content pieces for you guys. Today, we are going to have a very interesting conversation. This is with a person that met me just a few months before, but from the get go, it was like a connect, and you meet some people where you just meet them and you vibe together. I'm very excited to introduce Aditi Shrimal, who is the director of the Fortune Group, who manufacture LED lights, wires, and cables. She also runs a NGO, a very purpose-driven NGO called the Shruti Foundation, and they've been serving from the last so many years. She'll be diving into it and telling us all about it moving forward. So welcome Aditi, welcome on Curious Bate.
Thank you so much, Priyank. This is a dream come true for me, and this is something that has been checked off my bucket list, which I added to my bucket list since I've met you. And I told you about it 2 months ago. And as I told you before we started this conversation, that nothing better can define purpose of life than this, where I said that one day I hope you interview me for something and take my opinion on something. And less than 100 days, here we are. And thank you so much, Priyank. I'm so grateful to have known such an amazing person like you on a soul level and a rock star in the making and a personality level.
Arey yaar, I mean, you're just too kind. Thank you so much for that energy. And it was an amazing trip. Yeah, we went to Goa recently. How was it? You enjoyed?
I enjoyed, okay, I don't think I should say some things, but I completely enjoyed things that were between the meetings. Let's keep
The chilling scenes, you mean? Okay. So that is the foundation of this conversation, because between the meetings we used to catch up, just a few of our friends and have conversations. And one of those conversations I just thought I'll record. And I have that recording. It's like a 7-minute recording, but it is value packed. We were just talking about our perspectives, and uh, we've had very unique experiences in life, being from the same community, but we have had such diverse upbringings and exposed to such amazing wisdom in our life, right? I would love to touch upon that, and start with that. Let's start with the conversation in that note. As in, I want to know what is your uh, where was the place where you have derived your meaning or your way of looking at life. Can you share some experiences with us around those?
I'm going to keep it in a very simple way, Priyank. When I was younger, it never mattered to me what the purpose of life was. I was just enjoying. I was jumping, dancing, doing what I felt made me happy. And I think as I grew older, as we became more smarter and more wiser and more spiritually inclined, I think we as human beings have complicated the whole purpose of life altogether. Even when we spoke, when we were in Goa and when we spoke about it, I was also giving in some really heavy stuff like this is it, this is not it. But since we decided to do this podcast, I actually had a word with my dad and my mom, and I asked them, what is your purpose of life? And trust me, for like 5 to 10 minutes, and whoever I've asked, like friends or random colleagues at work, they're just dumbfounded. They're like, what the hell? It sounds so complicated, and that is what I have come to realize because of the last 3 days of asking people this. We have complicated life by trying to give it a purpose altogether right now. Like, I think happier when I didn't even know that there was something called a purpose of life. So I think that is where I've derived today in just 3 days of trying to ask people. But to put it in a sense of how I take it today, I think purpose of life is something that you hold on to guide you somewhere that you see yourself, and then the purpose changes. I don't think I have a defined purpose of life. My purpose of life 2 years ago was very different. Today it's very different, and I'm assuming and I hope 2 months from now also it's going to be different. It has to be an evolving purpose. Your purpose should be to evolve. Let's keep it at that.
Very interesting. Firstly, I mean, I completely understand when you say that when we grow up, we complicate things a lot. And I think that is okay, because when you grow up, you start to think a lot more. You start to you see yourself. You find yourself in so many experiences where you really have to push yourself. Be it in professional life, be it in your social life or personal life, you go through so many ups and downs where to have grip on that situation and on your mental state, you need to actually dig deeper to find a reason of being, and that's where we complicate things. And that's how I see it. Of course, I mean, I understand when you say that the purpose of your life should be to evolve, and I believe that that's true, right? And that's I love that perspective. I would like to share with you a certain experience of mine that really shaped the meaning of things for me. Yeah. So when I was younger, I've shared this on the podcast earlier. My parents always used to take me to spiritual monks, to the Jain monks, and I used to. In fact, my masi is a monk, so I've had a very heavy influence of spirituality in my life. But it was not just that, whatever I'm listening, I'm a person who's always been curious, and who's always asked questions and always encouraged to ask questions. So I found my purpose by asking questions, right? Recently, during Pajushan, which was in probably, I think, when October, I don't know, August, September, I got an opportunity to go back and visit my Gurudev, in Balotra, in Rajasthan, okay? And I've never asked him this question, that what he thinks his purpose of life is. What he thinks the purpose of life should be for people. So imagine a situation. We were sitting in the audience. There was a Q&A session happening with 500 people in the audience. And if you want to ask a question, you can stand up, raise your hand, and you get a chance to ask your questions to Gurudev. I made the most of it. In 8 days, I asked 8 questions, 8 really deep questions that I really wanted answers for, and I did get my answers too. All right. So I'll just read out the question and answer that I asked him. That I think will give a little context to where he came from, and then we can ponder over the answer a little bit. Okay. So I asked him, I stood up, I raised my hand, and raising your hand and asking there is a little difficult. You get like small shivers and everything. I got those. I stood up, I asked him that, I asked him in Hindi, but we'll talk in English, we'll just communicate here in English. That many a times when you're living life, when you go through experiences, when you go through ups and downs, you come to a question, you always get this question that, why am I doing all this? What is the purpose of life? And what should be that one one way through which I can see the things that I'm doing, is it right or wrong? I mean, what should that one guiding principle be? And what is the purpose of life? In Hindi, जीवन का लक्ष्य क्या है या जीवन का उद्देश्य क्या है? Right? You know what his answer was? So this was his answer. I'll read out word to word and then we can discuss about it, okay? I'll read it in Hindi right now. He said, अलग-अलग क्षेत्रों में अलग-अलग लक्ष्य होते हैं. जैन धर्म पर श्रद्धा रखने वालों का उद्देश्य ये होना चाहिए कि मेरा जीवन ऐसा हो कि मेरी दुर्गति ना हो. मेरे जीवन में अच्छे कर्म हो जिससे मेरी दुर्गति ना हो. उसके लिए अगर खुद में ताकत है तो संयम लेना चाहिए, विच इज़ बिकम अ मंक. और अगर नहीं है, अगर आप उतना नहीं कर सकते हो तो एक श्रावक जीवन, विच इज़ एक श्रावक जीवन जीना चाहिए. जीवन का लक्ष्य ये है, हर एक जैन धर्म को मानने वाले का लक्ष्य यह होना चाहिए. ही वॉज एड्रेसिंग द कंप्लीट कम्युनिटी दैट जीवन मर्यादित होना चाहिए, विच इज़ कोई भी वस्तु मर्यादा में सुरक्षित रहती है, इसलिए जीवन का लक्ष्य एक मर्यादित जीवन होना चाहिए. नाउ व्हेन आई गॉट दैट आंसर, मेरे को वो इंस्टेंटली, ऑब्वियसली आई गॉट अ सर्टन पर्सपेक्टिव, बट आई थॉट आई हैव टू सिट डाउन एंड थिंक अबाउट इट, थिंक अबाउट वॉट ही शेयर्ड ऑन स्टेज in front of 500 people addressing the whole community. And I found a few understandings from what he said. I thought कि अरे ऐसा क्यों क्वेश्चन, ऐसा मर्यादित जीवन क्यों बता रहे हैं? बिकॉज हम लोग तो ह्यूमंस है एंड हमारे लाइफ में इतने डाइवर्स एक्सपीरियंसेस होते हैं, तो वाई विल आई वॉन्ट टू restrict my experiences or restrict the things that are coming to me in my life, right? That was the first question. And then I started doing a little research. I came across a few, do you know Naval Ravikant? He's a very advanced thinker from the US. He's a startup investor, VC, and again very strong principles about spirituality, science, and everything. He said that the current human, the modern struggle of humans is that he has social media where constantly you're made to click. It's like addicting you, it's like pulling you towards it. You have sugar, which is weaponized to make people constantly get in the grip of getting the habit of constantly overeating that. Then there's porn, there is video games, there is gambling and drugs that constantly get you in that grip. And the current modern day struggle is to stay away from, or is to try to save yourself from it. All these things are made so accessible that you sort of get into that loop. You sort of and it's difficult for you to get out of it. Like kids have phones, and phones are like a pathway to all these so basically when he said maryadit jeevan hona chahiye, what he actually meant is, in life it is easy to get distracted, it is easy to get carried away, and especially in the age that we are in, it's very easy to get access, like be it anything. So the only way you can escape from it is when you set clear boundaries for yourself, and then when you have the right boundaries is when you can focus on who you are, what you want to do, what your soul wants to do, and what your purpose of life is. What do you think about this?
Okay, first thing, the first thing that I want to say is you started off saying I'm someone who asks questions and I've been given the freedom to do so, and I do so. And I think that is the first step to opening up your space. Call it spirituality, call it being religious, give it any terminology. I think that is one of the most amazing things you started off saying, is to ask questions. I think kuch bachche hote hain, they ask so many questions. Why mummy, why papa? And they get one pat on the head from their parents. Why? You ask so many questions. And my mother till today tells me, these questions have never stopped. Like,
that's great.
Not stopped. And I think I'm curious to a point of irritation for others. So I'm going to come back to that in terms of maryada also. Ki how curious are you? Even your curiosity needs to have a limitation. But or your social media or your food, or in terms of, my point is, it's not a restriction. It's about, for me, what I personally, if I have to keep it in a simpler way as to what your Guruji has said, is you need to know your boundaries. I just feel you cannot let someone else define your boundaries. It's not about, suppose it's like PUBG, for instance, my nephews, I don't think I've seen their eyes in last 2 years. They're like that. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. For me, it's completely wrong, because at that age, I was doing something else. So that is my restriction. I don't think I have the right to impose that on someone else, even if it is for his well-being. It is something I can guide him through. So I'm sure he must think I'm an idiot to be reading books for 4 hours in a row. Like he will think, why are you wasting time not interacting with people? So I just feel your limitations, जो आपके मर्यादा होते हैं, वो तब तक सही है अगर आप खुद में इतनी बुद्धि रखो कि आपको पता होनी चाहिए कि मर्यादा क्या होती है. पहले मर्यादा सीखना बहुत ज़रूरी है. My मर्यादा cannot be your मर्यादा.
So what you've rightly said is that you have to decide what your maryada is based on your set of values and based, yeah, please.
But again, that's another issue, because sometimes, as we all are very egoistic in nature as human beings, we feel I know it all. I feel it right. I am right. You are wrong. My perspective is right. Your perspective is wrong. So sometimes it is not sometimes, most of the times we don't know what our limitations are because we're so empowered by our ego out here. So that's when I said, even your questions need to have a maryada. You need to have a maryada. Your soul needs to have a maryada. If I have to put it in a very simple way, I think the best way to put a maryada in yourself is to not put your maryada on someone else.
Very well said. Very well said.
Start by accepting failures and knowing that, yes, I fucked up. Sorry, beep. I fucked up. But that if you're not going to screw up, you will not build your maryadas. I have built my maryadas every time I've screwed up only. I've only built my ego every time I have won. So I feel it's extremely important to, as I told you earlier, there's a spectrum. There's no right or wrong, and I cannot let anybody decide my right or wrong. My life experiences will decide my right or wrong. The point is, we all know our rights and wrongs over due course. You're also 27 years old. I'm 30.
I'm 23. Okay.
Cut. Okay.
There's no cut. It's okay if you.
So you're 12. Okay, whatever. Even if you're 16, okay, and and I'm 18. Okay, like even if it's not the age, but life constantly teaches you, and I think what's important is to be aware and to try learning and evolving from it. As I said, evolving comes back to me. Learn, evolve. It's not about winning or losing. It's not about right or wrong. Just keep evolving. Have a sense of yourself. Is I think what it is for me.
Wow. So a few things from that. Number one, you said that you need to decide what your maryada is, and that comes from your value system. However, what happens, I'll tell you one thing, is that we get so caught up in our life that most people don't even have time to introspect. You only find your maryada when you introspect. You only find your maryada when you want and you go out and ask questions. So that's the first point once again. Okay. So I mean, makes sense, yeah. And I really I understand where you're coming from, and I also understand the fact that your maryadas and this thing builds up over life in your lifespan. You make mistakes, you come out of it, you introspect, and then you correct your course and so on. And that's the beauty of it. So that's amazing. So let me just ask you a question, okay? I know your family is into Vipassana and all these sort of activities. So, and even you've definitely experienced that in your life. Can you tell me what are a few key things that you've learned, and what are the few value systems that you've developed in your life over time?
So I feel anything can make you develop. It's not just meditation. You can be painting, that can be meditative. You can dance, that can be meditative. So Vipassana is something that has been in my family, God's grace, for the last 4 generations. It's come down. What it has done, I have not I'm not regular in practicing Vipassana, but what it has done for me as an environment in terms of energy, my grandfather did it, my great-grandfather did it, my father does it. So it has changed their perspective and their outlook to life, which has given me a beautiful upbringing. I have won in this. By just being born into this family, because they had that perspective, I won. They formed their maryadas and they gave me that upbringing. That's where upbringing is everything. Because इतने generation के मर्यादा आपको सिखाए जाते हैं.
I wanna touch upon that a bit before you go ahead. Firstly, I really sometimes think how fortunate I am in my life. I've been, when I introspect, that I've been born into a family where, I just sometimes think that many people have gone through trauma. Many people have gone through their own struggles and so on. They have issues and family problems and stuff. Whereas uh, I haven't had that experience, those extreme experiences where as when I was such a small kid, I've been exposed to such wisdom in a time where I've not even understood those. I mean, like I've been exposed to that wisdom, and that's beautiful, and that's how important where you are born and where you're upbringing. That's how much it matters in your life. I really understand. Thank you for bringing that up. I want to show gratitude to my family, to my guru for that upbringing. So that is number one. Number two, yeah, please continue. So my question was, what are if you can name a few value systems that you've got from your family, or that you've had in your life. I would love to know that, and that would be great for the audience.
So the meditation, the vipassana that we do of Goenka ji, what it actually teaches you is to experience life for as it is. So, and for my family, meditation has not been once in a week. It's literally 2 hours every day. My dadi, my dada, my uncles, my aunts, 30-day course, 60-day course, the works, everything. My dad, even if he comes home at 1 o'clock in the night, he will meditate for an hour and sleep. So it has become their way of life. So basically, what meditation teaches you, any form of meditation teaches you, is to experience life for what it is without giving a reaction to it. Everything does not need a reaction. There is going to be an itching sensation in your body. You don't have to itch. If you actually just look at an itching sensation, if you ever have one, you'll see it fades out. It's like anger.
Yes.
It comes,
Yes.
hits, like you're so mad. But if you just breathe it out and you like, listen, you're angry, just look at your breath, get back to your breath, it fades out in a second. So that has been a culture there. Like, my parents have never yelled at me. My parents have never hit me. My parents have a very open mind and a very open. We have a very open family. We discuss about anything under the sun. Because we've come to, at least my upbringing, which has been natural for them, it's been years and years of tapasya, where we've come to a point where we've learned to accept each other's differences, each other's point of views, rather than calling it differences, and there has to be respect for everyone's opinion. And I think that is what meditation has done, because even they know that she's going to evolve out of it. If she's in a phase today, she's going to evolve out of it. And the fact that, I think the best thing that I'm super grateful for, not just the family, but that open culture where it's not hidden, we don't have to hide, we can talk about anything. Again, it comes back to having the freedom to ask questions.
Wow. 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 That's
We go
that's
back to where
amazing.
you
Yeah.
started. So it goes back. Today, if I'm having an issue, if I'm even having a hangover, I can tell Papa and say, Papa, what do I do for my hangover? I'm not going to be judged.
That's beautiful. Having that open relationship is what a lot of my friends, or a lot of these audience people, and a lot of youth craves for, and that's something amazing, that if you've had that in your life.
Also,
So
sorry to cut you off, but I just want to add one thing here. That also builds up. वहाँ पे भी मर्यादा आते हैं, आपको पता है आप क्या पूछ सकते हो. I may have the freedom to ask anything. My maryada will again teach me what to ask, where to go up to, what I can't do. So I think we're going back to what your Gurudev said and what you started off with eventually on everything, which makes a lot of sense, right?
I mean, it's beautiful, yeah. And since I got that answer, I've also been seeing a lot of things through that lens, and it's been really liberating, because now I understand when he gave that answer, I understood like 10% of it, but with time I'm just learning more and more about it. However, what you shared is beautiful. In that, one thing you shared is that it fades away. I remember, I can recall that when we do in like when you do pratikman, you do kayorsag and everything, right? You have like 40 logas and
Yeah.
everything, so it's like a long time. You have to meditate, sit down, and during that you can't move, you can't itch, you can't do all that. And I've noticed that even when I'm having, a lot of times we have this when you just sit down on your hand, क्या बोलते हैं, हाथ सो जाता है, what
Correct.
is that thing?
It starts there is an internal vibration and
Yeah,
so you pinch it
yeah,
usually, yeah.
yeah. I don't know what to call that. I hope
मारवाड़ी
the
सारे
audience,
समझ जाएंगे, पैर सो गए, हाथ सो गए, सब समझ जाएंगे.
जितने जितने लोग ऑडियंस में मारवाड़ी हो या हिंदी हो या जो भी है, जैन हो, वट एवर, आई डोंट नो, आप लोग समझ जाओगे. So even that fades away. Have you ever felt that?
And 100%.
Firstly it increases आपका पूरा, मतलब अगर it's just like one small part, it'll spread to your whole leg, and then after a point it'll just vanish. And that was, these things I've never spoken about it on with anyone in my life.
But again, Priyank, that is not going to be the way of it.
No, no,
Just saying
that's not
that.
the
Just
point.
want to
Yeah,
clarify to the people who are listening that what Priyank
Yeah.
is saying is an experience which is one off. Next time he sits, it's going to be another one. Next time he's going to sit, it's going to be another one. So don't take it as this is how it's supposed
As
to
it
be.
is.
Guys, don't find Priyank's or my energy and emotion in your experiences. Don't do that. We are just sharing ours. Just want to put that.
It
disclaimer.
just has, the whole idea of this conversation, this curious baatein, is that we want to give people points to think about, points to ask questions about, just having anchor, having discussions that otherwise they wouldn't have, and having discussions with themselves that otherwise they wouldn't have. And that's the whole point about this podcast. So that's beautiful, yeah. I want to share a few value systems that I've been, I've been brought up with, and I try to inculcate and have in my life, right? Yeah. So I actually have it written down. So I'll just tell you the key pointers that I've made for my life and that I keep reflecting about myself. First is Shama. Second is Vinay, which is respecting elders and living with respect and so on. Number 3 is Saralta, which is अगर मैं कभी कोई गलती करता हूँ, I shouldn't have that ego कि मैं नहीं, I hide that, or I should be like, if I make a mistake, I need to accept it. I need to, that is one thing. Number 4, Santosh. And after that, having my maryada over my sense organs कि अरे मेरे को कितना किस चीज़ में कितना, like for example, I have certain set boundaries that I don't want to cross, be it for all those 5 sense organs or whatever. So that is those are a few of my value systems. There are a lot more. I'll do one thing. I'll make a podcast, especially when I'm clear about that, and I want to explain I want to explain that clearly to the audience moving forward. So I'll make one around that.
You should
Okay.
make one on each one of them, Priyank.
That'll be insane, and I know I have enough. There's so much to talk about in each one of those. It's crazy.
You should.
And I'll tell you one thing, when you have these values and whatever, and when you think about it, whenever I listen to a podcast, a conversation. Recently, I was listening to a conversation from a doctor in the US. His name is Dr. Chatterjee, and he was having a conversation with Dr. Anne, who is like expert in in habit formation. There are people struggling with dopamine. She says that we are living in a world where everyone's driven with dopamine, right? I was listening to that conversation. She's written a book called Dopamine Nation, where she's saying that your phone is built to give you dopamine shots. Your habits, even it can be your drug of choice. It can be even as simple as milk, or as simple as tea. Anything that is holding you, or that you need to have every single day. It can also be work. It can also be small ways of gambling or whatever. These are the dopamine hits that usually are the cause of your depression and your anxiety, your all these things, right? She's given us statistics where she said that 70% of global deaths are caused by modifiable risks, are all these things that can be modified in your habits. And that the privileged cities or privileged nations or developed nations are having, and we've reached a tipping point where people are dying because of their behaviors. So when she was talking about all this, somewhere it also connected me back to all these things that we've been taught when we were kids and stuff, right? So that's been an interesting experience. That's something that I've been looking forward to exploring. I've been looking forward to learning and then also imbibing in my life.
I will just suggest try experiencing it rather than exploring it. It'll teach you.
Uh,
I think it's going to give you a lot more purpose of life, for sure.
and experience is a part of it, yeah. I mean, every day every day use.
Experience is not a part of it. I think experience is everything. There
No,
is,
as in I'm saying experience. You every day you live is an experience. Every day you come up with those situations confront you. You come across a situation where you can either say a easy lie, or you can tell a hard truth. You come across a situation where you can say no to a thing or say yes to a thing. You come across a situation where you get up and you're lazy, but you still want to take a call to if I want to sit down to meditate or if I want to just lie down, if I want to go to workout or not. So that is the experience, and that is something that is in front of you every day. And when you have these guiding principles, you at least know कि okay आपको क्या करना चाहिए. So that is somewhere, I mean, where these things help me really. So Aditi, I want to ask you something, okay? Uh, it's been a while. It's been we met at a community organization. We met at Jito, and we've had a lot of experiences together. So I want to know what is something that really makes you happy.
something that really, really makes me happy and which I call today my purpose of life is my NGO. I don't think I have nothing in the world can give me the sense of joy, pure bliss, like pure bliss, a state of, I don't know what enlightenment is.
Euphoria.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it is supposed to be because someone who invented the word must have felt something. Someone who says enlightenment must have felt something. But if there is an ultimate joy in my life, it is only and only the work that I do from my NGO. But the agenda of my NGO, the whole vision, mission, everything is to share a smile. That is all it is. And I am not someone who's doing like a crazy job as more like half of the world. Like there are a lot of amazing, amazing humanitarians doing a crazy job. I don't think I do half of it. But I know even if I have like something as simple as stocking up my car with Parle G biscuits. Okay, like my cars are perpetually stocked with Parle G biscuits. So now every time I stop at the signal, they know, okay, she's in the car, we're going to get biscuits. They come, they take my biscuit. Some days they have a bad mood, but most of the days, trust me, the kind of love and affection they just give you, it's unreal. It's unreal. So basically, my purpose of life is sharing a smile, to be the reason someone is grateful for their life. I don't think there's a bigger rush, a bigger feel, and a bigger reward of life in general if not this. I don't think any certificate, any amount of wealth, jewelry, makeup, boys, anything, nothing. It's I cannot match to it. The joy, like I don't know. I cannot sometimes put it in words. The feeling of having someone so unexpectedly just come to you, put both their hands on your head and say, भगवान तेरे को हमेशा खुश रखे, तू बस ऐसे ही सेवा करते रहे. That energy which is from your head, I have felt that tarange, those vibes in my entire body. I have, and it has elevated my soul. Like it's like a dopamine shot. Okay, whatever you want to call it. I just feel it is.
But you felt bliss. You felt that peace. You felt.
And I make it a point to do something every single day. It can be letting someone cross the road when you're driving a car. It can be talking to someone who's giving you a promotional call happily. Even if you're irritated to bits with those, please take a life insurance from us, please take my bank loan. Just be kind. I mean, just be kind. You never know what someone else is going through. It's about being inclusive. For me, this is something I wanted to touch base with you on, know your view on this. It's not my being that is essential. It is not my life purpose that defines my life purpose. The situations around me create my maryadas, and that becomes my life purpose. Somewhere, what I am doing also is creating someone else's life purpose. So I feel there should be a sense of inclusivity, not for you or your family or your friends or your just colleagues or people known to you, but the whole goddamn existence is, there for you. There is some gas in your body which is only found in Neptune, but it is in your body. It's a fact of life. It takes the whole Milky Way to create you. So you are equally important to make sure the Milky Way stays the way it is. So throw that energy out and be happy. I think there's nothing more to that. Like, love everyone, love everything. So I think that
Wow.
inclusivity is everything for me, and I think that is my purpose of life, and that is why I'm happy. I think
Wow,
we're gonna say.
wow, 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 wow. I think you've very I mean, in a very clear and in a very amazing way you've explained what makes you happy. I really love the fact when you said about service, when you spoke about how you can be kind to everyone, and I've really felt that difference. When I'm just out there, when I'm just when you just meet someone, at a grocery shop, when you meet when you meet someone, when you're just talking to a cab driver, when you just talk when you just call them. I have a habit of calling everyone bhai, or like if it's a female, I don't know, but when it's a guy, I call them bhai because I have a sort of bonding with them, and they see me in that way. They want to help you better. They want to, so that's beautiful. And and when you are more, I feel that people that are connected with themselves better, people that are happy inside, are the people who can also spread happiness, who can give back to people, and so on. And it's vice versa. When you give happiness, you become happy yourself as well. So
It's the same thing with negativity too, Priyank. It's the same thing with negativity as it is with positivity. If you're going to be negative, the world will seem negative, and you'll think everyone is trying. It's only conspiring to make you and your life worse. So it's the energy you throw out is the that you're going to receive. Either way.
beautiful, yaar. What a wonderful conversation it was, yaar. Aditi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being so kind and coming on this podcast, having this wonderful conversation. And really, we spoke about things or that I've not spoken about anywhere. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, thank you so much for being the amazing human you are, and keep shining your light. I can't wait to see you again in person really soon. And So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This is the time where I'll. Yeah, yeah, of course. Please go ahead.
So I just want to thank you. I'm thankful to God. I'm grateful to God that I've met you. Somehow we vibed in whatever way. And I know for a fact, to all the listeners out there, you better follow this guy, because later you'll be like, who was that guy? Because even if you don't know who this guy is, he's going to shine so much. You're anyway going to know him. Priyank, I know even the sky is not the limit for you. There are billions of universes around in existence, and you're going to shine in each and every one of them, in every aspect, in every sphere, in every form. Just be this amazing person. Thank you for making me feel so good. This is my first ever interview of any sort. The only interviews I do are in my bathroom to myself in front of the mirror. No one wants to hear me. No one cares. So thank you for giving me. I think you've boosted my ego so much today. Thank you for that. And nothing and nothing but love for you. God's best wishes for you. It's always an amazing time talking to you. And every time I talk to you, I feel I can talk to you for 4 hours more, which we'll anyway do. We'll keep that going. And I hope to see you super, super soon. Thank you for this. Thank you for everything. And may God just bless you abundantly. Keep asking questions. Keep finding your maryadas. And keep being in touch with me. Otherwise, I'm going to kill you.
Do you guys see how what a beautiful human she is? I mean, that energy is so contagious, and you just want to be and just want to have conversations with her. So we'll have more such conversations. Let's see what people think about this. If they love it, why not have more conversations? Once again, thank you so much. Wishing you guys a very happy new year. Wishing you guys a lot of positivity, a lot of love, and a lot of. I wish all your dreams come true in this upcoming year. All your goals that you've set for yourself, all the New Year resolutions you want to call it, all the habits that you've created for yourself. I hope you guys find success there, and I hope you guys keep coming on these episodes every week. And we have some value packed content for you. Until then, don't forget to follow us on whatever podcast platform you or watching this on. Don't forget to leave your review on Apple Podcast. Don't forget to whatever, just share this video, leave your comments, just show some love, and we can't wait to create more for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.